What's going on YouTube? Hey guys, it's Ben Nader. You already know that you're on the channel where we talk about recruitment, staffing, business, entrepreneurship, everything in between. I vlog on these topics every single day, so smash the subscribe button if you like that kind of stuff and hit the alert button so you know every time I come out with a new video. So let's jump right into today's video, which is going to be about the top trends in 2019 that are coming and emerging in the recruitment industry. These are really, really important for you guys to know about, so please watch till the end. And I'll put everything in the description as well, because these are super important for you to be aware of as a new recruiting agency or a new recruiter or someone who's looking to get into solo recruiting as a solopreneur. So the first and foremost I want to talk to you about is employer branding, okay? Now we can translate this because we're recruiters, recruiting agencies, and we're basically representatives of the employer, right? The ultimate, person that they're going to be employed by. So as a conduit, as a representative, you need to translate everything about that company, that role, that position, the hiring manager, the vibe, the environment, everything about that job. You need to translate that and sell it really, really well. And the best people in recruitment are really, really good salespeople, and they know how to translate that information in a really good way. This market is a candidate-driven market, so understand that your candidate's talking to multiple other recruiters. They're possibly talking directly to other companies. So you need to be the best at actually translating the branding of the role and the position that you want to get them into, and you'll win out when you do that, right? So that's just number one. The second piece goes hand in hand pretty much, which is candidate experience. This has become a bigger and bigger thing throughout 2018, even in 2017, and definitely in 2019. So again, candidate-driven market. What does that mean? The candidate has almost all control. Employers are begging for new candidates. They need the workforce. With unemployment being at an average of like 2.3, 2.7% nationwide, those numbers are debatable, but basically it's around 2.5% unemployment. Employers are begging for people to work for them. Understand that when this candidate talks to you, they have choices. So it's a very candidate-driven market. And with that in mind, you have to understand that it's so important that you treat the candidate with utmost respect. I've talked about this in a few other videos about the client and the candidate experience, but candidate experience can make or break your deal, your business, whatever, depending on how you're operating with it, right? So treat your candidates with super excellency. Just have phone calls with them when you say you're going to have phone calls with them. Give them the information that they need. Provide them all the details. Don't be, around the bush with them. Any of that kind of stuff. Candidate experience is everything, because they can walk right off and just go with somebody else at any point in time, right? You're just a recruiter. You're just a broker, and hopefully you can get them in the door and get that win and get that check, right? But you want to make sure the candidate experience is on point. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed. So let's move on to the next one, which is essentially automation, right? So I don't know why I said it weird the first time, but automation, right? So this is massive. So with all the technologies and all the softwares and the ATS systems and everything that we have in place that we have at our disposal, automation is massive. And so what do I mean by automation, right? So it could be sending out bulk emails to your potential clients, to your leads, right? The new clients, the companies that you want to work with, right? So if you find 20, 25, 75, 100 potential clients, right? Have a system like MailChimp, have a system like Market Hero, have some system where you can send bulk emails out to efficientize what you're doing and actually get those emails quicker, faster, and just send that stuff out rather than doing them one by one, stuff like that. A lot of tools and ATS systems do this for you. But again, I mentioned MailChimp stuff does this. Market Hero is a good one. Constant Contact is another service provider that does this stuff. So automation tools are huge. So that does not just go for sending out to clients, right? Another one is luring in candidates by sending them out mass emails as well. So when you find like 20, 25 good candidates, right, for one or two positions, you can use your automation tools to send out bulk emails that are really, really alluring to that candidate to get a response back from them, right? So you don't just need to use LinkedIn and message them one by one or whatnot, but you can connect with them over bulk email and use automation tools, including Drip, which is basically, sending them a weekly email or an email every 2-3 days. I mean, you can set it however you want, but automation tools are so powerful that you can pretty much do anything you want with them. So it's clients, candidates, and if you can identify who you want to contact, there's automation tools to help you out and make that more efficient. So automation tools is a huge trend, only something that's just going to help the entire system out, right? On the employer side, they're using ATS systems. They're also using automation tools and stuff like that. But the goal is to get in between them and the candidates, because you want to be the recruiting agency that collects a fee for bringing them the candidates. So you need to put your best foot forward, and you should be using some of these automation tools, whether it be Bullhorn or Crelate or, like I said, MailChimp, Market Hero, stuff like that for sending out bulk emails. So look into that kind of stuff. That's a trend you're going to need to follow. It's never going away. So the next one I would say is internal referrals. So a stat I recently read from a credible publication said that 30% of hires at companies are coming from internal referrals. That means that Jane Doe called up, Bob Smith from a former work relationship and said, "Hey, Bob is a great guy. Like, I'd love to refer him." And oftentimes they give spiffs for this kind of stuff. What's a spiff? A spiff is like $200, $300, $400, $500 for a referral, right? So they'll give them cash just to refer new candidates in the door if they get hired, right? It's kind of like being a recruiter, but inside of a company. And this is what I used to do at a sales company I worked at, and collected like $500 every time I would get a candidate in the door. And it's kind of what motivated me to start my own agency close to 2 years ago. So internal recruiting, it's up to 30% of hiring that's happening inside companies, all right? And we'd love to grab that entire 30% as recruiting agencies because it's just that's money for us, right? It's not money for the internal employees. We don't want them referring all their candidates. We want to be giving the candidates to the employer. Reason being is because we provide an extra layer of service. The people that are working at their job referring someone, they're already doing a job, right? They don't want to do a second job. Like, they're not going to do as good of a second job. We are, because it's predominantly what we're doing. Like, we're looking, seeking, researching, vetting, interviewing, sourcing, you name it under the sun, and providing a guarantee and all that kind of jazz with the client, with the actual employer. So we're much more valuable, when we present ourselves like that. So make sure you keep in mind that this internal referral thing is a trend, and that to overcome it, you need to be able to sell yourself and sell your contract with a good guarantee and, some good credibility on yourself as a recruiting agency, or just a new recruiter, starting an agency, that you're the guy, you're the woman, you can make this happen better than internal referrals, right? And that's not something you should probably have to combat like head on. It's just something that you should bypass by just being a really awesome recruiter, selling your services to these companies. The last one I would say is the entire concept of commoditization. Say, what is commoditization? So basically what it means is, commodities are things like, large amounts of different products or services, right? So soybeans is a commodity, oil is a commodity, right? What's happening in the recruiting industry is that candidates are becoming a commodity, especially when we have like 2.5% unemployment. That means that's how low of the population is unemployed, meaning there are so many job openings and so few people to fill the job openings. So there's this plethora, right, where the candidate sort of becomes a commodity, and the business is trending in this way. So you're actually kind of interacting with candidates as if they're an actual commodity. The way you combat this is you don't treat them as a commodity. Number one, it's all about candidate experience, like I mentioned before. So you treat them with the utmost respect. You give them, the red carpet and all that stuff, because that's huge. And number two is understand that, the commoditization is something that you can battle. Like, so many players are in the recruiting agency game right now, especially with the market and the economy the way it is, that, ultimately, like, I see this, I've seen this in early 2018, and it was happening starting in 2017, where the economy was basically treating candidates as commodities because there were so many job openings and so few candidates. So the deal is they're essentially being treated as commodities, and the way to overcome it is basically just don't treat them as a commodity, right? But essentially you need to understand that the fact that there's so many little people unemployed, that you need to focus in on the high skill set people, the best people, give them a really good candidate experience. And commoditization is not going to go away, but you can battle it in those senses by applying those techniques in order to get them through the door, right? So I think employers are looking at the situation as commoditization more than like you or I would look at it, as a recruiter or a recruiting agency. So from our standpoint, we want to look at it as a boutique type of thing and not a commodity type deal, right? So we don't want to treat candidates as commodities. You want to be able to get a lot of candidates in the door, but at the same time, you want to choose, wisely and treat them all with respect and pick and choose the best skill set to get them in the door. Overall, I mean, just, your proper alignment with these new trends and your proper following of the new news that's in recruiting and the new trends and the ways things are changing overall is going to be super critical. So keep up, right? Keep up with all the stuff. Like read publications, read new trends that are coming in 2019, 2020. Read what's happening. Read what's going on with the market. Talk to other recruiters, right? So 6-Figure Recruiters Facebook group, link in description. Join it. We talk a lot about this kind of stuff, and I'm there to answer tons of questions. There's a bunch of other recruiters that are really seasoned that can answer questions. But overall, we want to make sure that people are on top of upcoming trends, especially in 2019 right now and going into 2020 since we're halfway through the year already. So those are the new trends. I just wanted to let you guys know. It's super important for you to know about this stuff and put it to use so that you can apply, combat against it. Some of it's challenging, some of it's good for you, but overall just keep up. Make sure that you're in the know. So that's all I've got for Saturday today, guys. I hope you're just taking the rest of the day off. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you're working hard, and I hope you're going to make a good June. I know a lot of people are on vacation right now. Stuff's really slow. You might not be getting a lot of email responses or phone calls returned, stuff like that, but keep the course. This stuff picks up, right? It's cyclical. It's just like anything. So keep the course, keep going. Subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Smash the like button. I'll catch you guys on Sunday. Take care.